If you're like me and you build your own bikes or maintain your own bikes, you really need your own set of bike tools. Now I got these bike tools from AliExpress, so they are budget tools that can help you with your bike builds and bike maintenance. Now these bike tools have come in handy when I've been building my bikes up and maintaining them, such as swapping out a bottom bracket, setting up the shifters on the handlebars, or even routing cable housings inside the frame. Without further ado, let's get into the 5 tools that I got from AliExpress. Alright, first on our list, we've got the Toopre internal cable routing tool. Now this thing has been a game changer when routing my cable housings through the frame and also through the integrated handlebars, as you've seen in my build video. Even when you get your frame with the cable guides, you're able to attach this cable routing tool to the cable guide and feed it in so that you can actually fish your cables through the other side. If you've ever had to run cables, including brake housing and also gear cable housing, you know how much of a pain it is to route it through your frame. And honestly, this tool is a lifesaver and definitely a game changer. I would say that it makes bike building that much easier with this cable routing tool. Alright, so this here is the Toopre internal cable routing tool, and it says not suitable for steel frames, most likely because the magnet will stick to the steel frame. So what do we have inside of here? We've basically got these main set of parts, the cable itself that actually is used to be routed within the frame. It's got a magnet on one end to attach to this separate piece. And what's the neat thing is you can actually open this up. You've got 3 different heads or tips, but I tend to use this one right here the most. This one is kind of like a tapered end with threads on it. This is meant for your brake hose line as well as your brake cable housing for hydraulics and rim brake. This one here is used for your cables, and then this is also used for your DI2 as well. This is how you assemble the cable. If you're going to use brake or shifting cable, you assemble it into here, tighten this up, and assuming this was already attached to your cable end, and now this is taut, and you just pull it right through, pull it through your frame, and you're good to go. So this one is supposed to be a quick release system for brake cable housing, and you're meant to push on this end, so it's always pushing, so there's never a reason for it to pop out of this piece right here. So you push from this end while slowly pulling out of this end. I've just been taking my gear cable housing or brake cable housing for rim brake, and I've just been screwing this portion in like so, just screwing it in until it actually grabs enough of the cable, and then using that I pull this through, and that seems to have worked for me. So that is one option or method of the cable housing as well. So now you just have to make sure that you'll probably have to chop off an extra 10 millimeters or so of cable housing, but that's about it. You can basically feed the magnetic end through the carbon frame, and you can use this magnet to kind of guide it along wherever you need to make it pass through the frame, whether it's your rear cable housing, your fork, or your front or rear derailleur. This is very nice to have. I find that it doesn't scratch the carbon surface, but you know, you just have to be careful with that. This is a must-have in my opinion. Alright, so next on the list, if you've ever built a hydraulic disc brake bike, this is definitely a must-have. This is the EZMTB bleed kit. It's got a bunch of different tools to help you with the bleed process. Now you will have to buy your own set of separate hose cable cutters. This does not include that, but it basically comes with 2 syringes. As you can see here, I've used this one already. I've got this glove in here. This I ordered separately, so this is not part of it. And these funnels here, they're nice and easy to use. The neat thing about this funnel is that you can stop the flow by pressing down, and also you can introduce flow or open the valve by pushing up on this. So now I've got brake fluid on my fingers. And you get a bunch of other nifty things, such as this thing. I think this is meant to hold something, not really sure. These are disc brake calipers. These are meant to block your disc brakes from getting closed or locked in place. This thing right here is a disposal of used oil, and this thing is also nice and handy dandy to hold your oil funnel if you need without it spilling everywhere. At least I think that's what it's for. And as you can see here, you've got a bunch of different barbs. You've got elastics, and this one is meant to pinch the cable so that it stops the flow. So it's able to flow, but now that you pinch it in place, it stops the flow, so you can easily remove that. So that's kind of a nifty little doodad to have. It's quite versatile, very useful, and I should probably read this manual so that I know how to use this, but who reads manuals anyways, right? But yeah, this has the whole setup in terms of how to use this. It looks like it does have English as well. So, okay, that's interesting. It has a lot of parts that I've never used before. Like the rubber band is meant for holding a multifunction block to prevent your disc calipers from closing in on itself. And yeah, overall, it's got the whole gamut of parts. Very, very useful. Highly recommend this. It makes servicing your hydraulics much, much easier. So highly recommend this set. As you can see, you get a full kit of everything. So just make sure when you do this, read the manual. Next up on our list is the Riderace Hex Key Allen Key Set with the T-grip handles, and it is S2 steel, and they are quite sturdy and well designed, and you get the whole set from 10 millimeters, 8 millimeters, 6 millimeters, 5, 4, 3, 2.5. I wish they had a 2, but they gave a Torx T25. Not exactly sure when I would use this, but it is what it is. Overall, it's a good set of Allen keys, and the grip is nice using the T-handle grip, especially to get into hard to reach places. You also have the flat portion here for greater leverage, for longer lever handle for more torque, and you also have the ballpoint end. I will say the ballpoint end isn't the best in terms of the tolerances, but it still does its job. I just find that it's not perfect, and we all want perfect tools, so that is one thing I will note about this set. But overall, great set of tools. You can easily remove, let's say, your pedals using the 8mm wrench for Look Keo pedals, and 6mm for your wheels, your disc brake wheels, the through axle. You've got your 5mm for a lot of things like the seat post, screw, etc., and your other hex keys here. So all in all, a decent set to have. And I like that you can assemble this all in your tray for your bike stand, so everything fits and it's always there when you need it. And next up on the list is this thing right here in this magical case. This is actually the bottom bracket tool set. This is a manual here, and it provides you a lot of different instructions in order to, let's say, remove the shaft bearing or bottom bracket bearing, as what they say. This is a really neat set. It's got everything that you need. You've got your 24 to 30mm shell for bearings that you can use. This has been a game changer for when I actually replaced my bearings from my felt triathlon bike, and it's been such an easy process using this tool set. It allowed me to swap out my former bottom bracket, the BB30, into a Shimano compatible bottom bracket, and I did use a ZTTO bottom bracket, which, mind you, has been performing quite well with thousands of kilometers, and it's still running quite smooth, even through races in the rain, and training in the rain as well. So 2 thumbs up for those. If you've ever done a bottom bracket overhaul or swap, you know that you need the right tools to do that. That way you don't mess up your frame, you don't mess up the bottom bracket, and it's just an easier process. So definitely get yourself one of these if you're looking to building more bikes going forward that have press fit bottom brackets. Last but not least on our AliExpress tool list is the Toopre TL218, and this here is a road bike shifter checker. I have already assembled this, and this is what it looks like. This part attaches to your stem cap, or the expander plug, I mean. You have to remove your stem cap in order to attach this, and attach this to the stem cap portion. Technically I can go all the way, but if we're just rotating this back and forth, I think that's good enough. Okay, so I've got my left shifter set up pretty much where I want it to be. So we've got a seam here where the shifter is. So I'm going to go ahead and extend this so that that's where we hit the stem. And I'll go ahead and shove this elastic all the way up too. As I bring it to this side, it pretty much touches right at the seam of the shifter. So from here, again, all the way to this side, you can see it's not quite hitting it. So I'm going to bring my shifter up until it's right there. And I'd say that's pretty close. That's pretty even. You don't really need this tool necessarily. It's okay using, let's say, a tape measure or let's say some other method to ensure that your shifters are aligned properly and they're also at the right position. However, this is more of a nice to have that could come in handy. If I'm not mistaken, you can attach this to your derailleur hanger and bend it back so you do have a bigger lever arm using this. All in all, I will say if you have the right tools when building your bike and maintaining your bike, will really serve you in terms of making the process easier and safer for your bike. I've placed all the links below for the products, so feel free to click on the link. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if you've used any of these tools. Also, let me know which tools are your favorite for when you're working on your bike. Until next time, keep on wrenching, ride safe, and see you on the next one.